How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Q&A weekly. Quick introductions. We have Mod Matt K.
Hey.
Mod Ronan. Mod Ghost.
Hello.
Mod Ash.
Hello.
And Mod Archie. All right, so let's just hop into this. First question, the big one. As of late, this is from Craig OSRS. Can we get a toggle for the Iron Man chat icon, please? Ash, you already addressed this on the forums, but...
Yep, the answer's, so far the engine doesn't technically support that, but I think I know a workaround that will do it for us just fine, so should be all right.
What do you guys think? Is that visually annoying to see all of the Iron Men in the chat, or are you guys cool with that? Can we do a straw poll for that?
Yeah, can do.
First question, straw poll, all right. Next big question. This is the second biggest one. Splashing. That's it. That's the whole question. Just splashing.
Splashing. Okay.
Yes,
so
there is some.
yes, it happens. Right. So some of you don't like splashing. We know that. But not all of you don't like splashing. I mean, there's a few people who are making quite a lot of noise about it on Reddit, on the forums, and through Twitter. But every time we sort of look at the discussions that go on, we're not seeing everybody saying yes, get rid of it. We're seeing people defending it, saying that they like it, or what have you, and they want to keep it the way it is. And until it's in sort of until it's likely to pass a poll, we're not likely to poll it, because there is no point. If we do a poll now on it and it fails, then we'll never be able to deal with it in the way that you want. So what we're sort of waiting for is for the community to feel it is a problem that we need to address, and when it is, then we'll address it. I mean, personally, we've got no great feelings towards it one way or another. We just have to wait for you guys to make up your mind whether it's a good thing or not. Like I said, if we polled it now, it won't pass, and then we've sort of trying to use a phrase which went through my mind, which was very rude, so I can't say that. But if we poll it now, then basically that's answered the question. If it doesn't pass, then there is no going back on that really. So we'll just have to wait until you guys have decided. But as far as we see, and what we see every day, is that you guys haven't made your minds up yet. Okay. So when you have, and if you want it gone, then we will do that. But it needs to pass a poll.
Okay, so potentially in the near future, or even distant
potentially
future.
In the future, when the players want it, we'll do it. But I don't feel that's where we are at the moment.
Okay. So is it annoying to see the Iron Man badge in the chat?
Interesting.
Majority are saying no, so I think it's just something we get used to, or is it a consideration for a poll?
Yeah, I'll probably toggle at some point in the future, maybe.
We could do it.
Yeah.
In fact, we could have done it in the first place. The thing is, with 80% of the people saying they were willing to accept it without a toggle, I wasn't really looking to spend the extra half a day's dev time doing a toggle that people didn't seem to feel the need for, when we could have been doing just about anything else.
Right.
There was someone actually asking earlier if in the menu, in the settings tab, we could have a toggle to hide all of the toggle options.
Yeah, we could do that. Where would you put the toggle for it, though?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Toggle section.
Separate toggle menu for more toggles. To toggle on and off the toggle menu.
And then, of course, you have the normal players saying, well, I want a normal player icon because I'm a normal player, and then you get into titles and all that fun stuff.
Well, if what we said is, if you want other people to see an icon on your chat, you've got to see the icons in everyone else's chat, then at least it would be fair.
Right. Next question. This one's from Timmy CG. Good day. Have you considered adding the amulet of ranging into the game, or would it be OP? First of all, first ever person to ask a question saying good day, the proper introduction, so props to you. Good day. All right, good day. Any answers?
Amulet ranging.
Yeah.
When he says add it back into the game, I don't remember taking it out.
Well, from RS3.
Oh, right.
What does it do in RS3?
It's just, I think it's plus 15 range bonus, but that's it. Like no prayer bonus, no defense, no nothing. I think that's probably wrong, but I'm sure the chat will correct me.
There's no reason why not. I mean, if you guys want it. I mean, there is obviously the high accuracy of the high-end weapons we got now, which may well be an issue.
Well, if it came from a later version of RuneScape, then there probably were some anyway. I don't know exactly what would be out at the time when it was current, but if there's demand for it, we can do it. And while you're about it, let us know where you'd like it to come from.
Right. I don't remember what year it came from, but yeah. Anyways, this one's from Troyer60. Any hopes for the wilderness ditch ever being removed?
Well, we did poll that.
Yeah.
Didn't pass.
What was the percentage?
I can't remember.
60, I thought.
Yeah,
60.
it wasn't particularly high.
So that's not likely to be repolled.
But I think I think the reason it failed, because we did it sort of, the reason we put it in there was, or the reason it originally went in was to stop people luring people into the wilderness, and we wanted to put a qualification on that, saying once we're able to make sure that doesn't happen, so you can't lure people into the wilderness, we'll take it out, and that might have confused people a bit much.
Well, a lot of them were just not confident that it would be as effective. Whatever we did that stopped people being lured into the wilderness, they reckoned the ditch was safer, and they preferred to keep the ditch, which is fair enough. I mean, you can see a ditch, and you don't accidentally walk across it or get dragged across it by someone you're following or hopping. So, if you feel safer that way, you keep your ditch.
Cool.
Okay. Let's go to this next one from Warrior07RS. Any chance the Inferno Adzi will make an appearance in the near future?
Totally up for it. It's not necessarily a fire-making update I'd have wanted. I'd have liked to make fire-making useful rather than just giving you an item that makes it happen while you're woodcutting. But we could do that. I'm not so keen on recreating the all fired up minigame to give you the Adzi though. I'd sooner make it available from something else, anything else.
Right.
Quite a nice little project to make a brand new axe as well for you, Gareth.
Yeah, I don't mind making a brand new axe and make it exciting. We could pitch the concept first before polling it, obviously. And yeah, sounds good to me.
Flames coming off it and
Yeah,
stuff.
that'd be great.
See, I've never owned one, so correct me if I'm wrong, but is it essentially just, I believe it required like 90-something fire making, and it was a pickaxe slash hatchet?
Pretty sure it was a pickaxe and a hatchet, and it set fire to logs occasionally.
Okay, so maybe you could have some option to merge the dragon axe and the dragon pickaxe and
Yeah,
making
that'll
it.
work quite nicely.
Sounds
Then
exciting.
stick a
Kinda
dragon tinderbox on it.
Yeah, all right. Okay, next question. This is from Lucky Brehe. I don't know, there's some H's in there. Asks for the return of the Forinthly dungeon slash revenants and potentially new monsters in there.
We've got no problem about putting in revenants. The question is what they drop. Whenever we've polled PvP armors or even talked about PvP armors, the response has mostly been don't do that. So revenants that don't drop that kind of thing wouldn't have the same appeal. But in terms of the monsters, yes, we could recreate their behaviour and recreate as much of their graphics as possible. It's just a question of what they drop and why people would want to go there.
Right.
Absolutely.
The rest of the dungeon had vaguely useful monsters, but nothing you can't get elsewhere in the wilderness, I think.
I don't recall.
I
didn't
remember
spend
there
too
being
much
green
time there.
dragons down there.
Okay. So it's a possibility. Next question. Adam.Carter. Any chance we could have cash drops deposited straight into our inventory if there's already a cash stack there? And I'm thinking it's kind of like a coin collector type thing, like a magnet that sucks in coins if you had an item maybe.
I was quite keen to build that sort of thing into the Ring of Wealth on the grounds that it would give the thing a use.
Yes.
Interesting.
And it's wealth related.
Yes.
I really like that idea. I
Yeah.
think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. It involves trawling through all the drop scripts to, find all the places where it's giving you coins and make it do it via something that goes into your inventory if you've got the right stuff equipped. But I can certainly do it if you don't mind me taking a little time and somebody having to test it.
Right.
No John today, so he won't tell us not to.
If you're wondering, guys, John and Dan Reach are both going to be off until next stream. They should both be here.
Yeah, should hopefully.
Okay. So, all right, next question. OVL product, sorry. Will you ever introduce a feature that allows previously banned players to pay a fee and come back to the
No.
game? That was a quick answer.
Yeah, there you go.
How, even like a bill, 2 bill,
We're
5,
talking
10
in-game
bill.
coins
How
or
would they-
real money.
How are they going
If they got
Okay,
that kind of money,
okay.
they can buy their own game.
I think
$1 million.
History-wise, we did toy years and years ago with the idea of allowing players to buy their accounts back with real money. If they got banned, the idea being is they spent an extra amount of money on their account, therefore they're less likely to break the rules again in the future. Obviously, it's not around now, it hasn't been around for a long time, and I don't sense any sense in doing it going forward. I think it'd be the wrong thing for both communities, RS3 and for Old School, and I think Phil and all the people up top would agree with me. I think that's not the right thing to do for you guys, for the game, and for us as a whole.
Yeah.
Feels a little bit too close to extortion as well.
Yes, that's true.
It really comes down to the fact that you're not going to get banned unless you're doing something extremely wrong, so don't do anything wrong.
Yes, it's not hard to have an account which isn't banned.
Yeah.
I mean, hundreds of thousands of people do it every day, so it's not that difficult.
All right, next question, again from Lucky Brett, asking about prey renewal potions. I believe we've mentioned them before, but let's get a recap.
Did we poll that and have it fail, or did we just not get around to doing it on anything?
Can't remember.
I don't think that's ever been polled.
Okay. Well, we'd be up for it.
Yeah.
We would likely do that kind of thing by upgrading existing prayer potions so that we don't devalue them in the way we might. But sticking an extra ingredient in, maybe something involving ecto tokens, so to give them a use, would be quite tempting.
The cool thing with all this stuff that's maybes is really just potential content for the new continent, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's definitely a possibility to show up there.
New herb on the new continent.
Yeah.
And a whole set of new potions for it is all.
Endless
all something that can
possibilities.
happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Another one from Lucky Brett. He asked quite a few questions, thank you. Possibility to make the client remember your login details for quicker world hopping. So not necessarily like you get off the computer and your details are still there so you can get hacked easily. But if you're already logged in and you wanted a quick hop option.
Now, we have the ability to do that now, to take somebody from one world and drop them straight into another without going back to the login screen.
Yes, I've been offering to do a join option on the friends list for some time. It's just never come quite high up the priority list to get onto a poll yet.
So it is completely possible for, I don't know, interface or even just a command that you can type in and go to world whatever, and it'll automatically move you into that world.
Would there be a timer then?
Wouldn't be a timer, no. You could do it
Interesting.
immediately.
All right. Certainly a possibility.
Yes, there are a few places where you might not want them to be doing that, you know. But
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it'd have to be limited in where we need it to be. But
People could abuse that if there wasn't a timer. They'd find a way.
like the Motherlode mine.
Yeah. So this one's from SK Dude Man. Can we make it so that in Piscatoris, when we want to fish monkfish, it's the left click option instead of the right click option?
I think from last week's stream we said we'd remove the harpoon option, so
Okay.
it would in fact be the only option.
There you go. That was like, I'm only saying this because that was asked like a dozen times on Reddit.
yeah.
Well,
I
now it's the
think-
same as last week then.
Yeah, I think you've actually added it to the poll for the next poll, haven't we?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
awesome.
gonna be on
There you
there.
go.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Get to poll that soon.
Monkfish fishers will be happy. This one's, Gareth, do we have an update on the max capes / veteran capes?
Yeah, we discussed this, didn't we, the other day, and the music cape came up, I believe.
Yep.
And then John suggested that we have the max cape as well. And I think we kind of came to the conclusion that because of all the projects that we've got coming up, things like the Snake Boss, Achievement Diaries, and the Christmas as well, that to just do max capes, the justice it deserves, we wouldn't be able to fit it in anytime soon. So we're probably best off actually doing max capes, which would need the emote as well, and also the music cape,
Yeah.
and a music cape emote as well. So we're best off just sort of like adding all those together in the same sort of time period to make it a more punchy release instead of just giving you like drips and drabs all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think we'd sort of tentatively, and again this will change almost on a daily basis, but we sort of tentatively thought second half of next year we'll do a big cape thing, which will update many capes and do stuff to capes that you want. So
John has been pretty desperate to get an update out to the existing skill capes to give them a little more, or make them a little more useful.
Yeah.
So it'll probably come alongside that as well, I would imagine.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Didn't we? Did we decide on the music emote in the end, whether or not that's going out of the capes or whether or not we're releasing it?
I think the aim was Christmas, wasn't it?
at Christmas?
It would make
Okay.
sense to do the music emote at Christmas, 'cause that's when you'll be able to unlock all the tracks for the first time.
Yeah, that sounds
And
good.
just the emote shouldn't be nearly as much work as an entire cape and an emote for that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So out of curiosity, Delph, there's too many maxed players in the chat. Sick nerds in there. Would you be happy with just the max cape without the emote, or would you definitely need an emote with that? Just say one or the other in the chat. All right. Next question. This one's from Robbo Sick Dog, and he's brought up a bit of a bug apparently. Any plans to fix the Pete's candlestick glitch? They're currently being used in bulk to rag skillers.
For what it's worth, if he'd like to report a bug, there's a bug reporting thread in the Old School General forum, so he doesn't have to wait for the following Thursday to ask us in the stream.
That's true. They're
But I
saying
think I
no
will.
emote. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, just a quick explanation because I had no idea what it was. So candlesticks are now being used on other players to help Iron Men complete Heroes Quest without trading. But when you use them on a player, it stops them from doing what they were doing, like crafting or fletching. So it's just, I don't know why anybody would do that, spend their time ragging a skiller, but
Well, there are some strange people out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one.
Because you're learning very quickly the last few weeks.
Yeah. So, what
Well,
do you
yes,
think?
he has reported a bug. We will very happily fix the bug. And again, if people would prefer to report their bugs through the thread in the Old School General Forum, then they won't have to wait for the following Thursday.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
Come straight through to us if you do that, so we can pick it up straight away. Quickest way of doing it by a long, long way.
Okay. Next question. V-Berserk. Instead of players using the Duel Arena / Clan Wars to recharge energy / special attack, can we use the bed in our player-owned house to recharge those abilities for us? Now, we've talked about this before, and we talked about health, which seemed a little OP. What about just special attack / run energy?
You can do quite nicely if you've got access to a lot of special attack energy in a POH combat ring, I think. And I wouldn't want people to be running out of that in the bedroom next door, click on the bed, run back, do some more specialing. It wouldn't be nearly as quick as if they could just climb in and out of the ring, but we might want to have a look at exactly what you can do if that was enabled.
Okay.
Where's the portals? Is there a portal near any of the PvP areas and PvP worlds?
A portal?
Hang on.
Outside
Outside of, I think all of them, surely. Well, at least almost all
Well,
of
as
them.
in where people congregate for PvP, so for Catheby or what have you. So what I'm thinking is, if you're in a PvP world, you spec somebody, you then get to your house really quickly, and then back to where you were really quickly with full stuff again. Full
If I recall
special
correctly,
attack energy.
they're all in pretty many remote areas. Nobody really PKs around, like Yano, Relica,
Yeah,
etc.
that's what I was thinking.
That would be strange.
Yeah. They wouldn't have any incentive to. Okay, next question. This one's from Pignisks, and he asks, where can I send video footage of a player ragging me? So we'll just go over this again, even though we've been bringing it up the last couple of streams. Probably will for the next couple as well. It's a bit of a bigger issue, as you guys know. Ragging / player harassment has definitely been on our minds. So if you do have any video evidence, feel free to send it in to chris.archie@jagex.com. And yeah, Matt, do you have any other?
Yes,
Anything else to
not
add?
that we talked about this beforehand at all, of
Yeah.
course. Almost like we scripted it, isn't it? So ragging, what happens with raggers? There's a lot of sort of rumour out there at the moment where if somebody gets ragged, they'll get permanently banned. That's not true at all. Or even the ragger gets permanently banned. That's not true at all. The process we have and what we do is we look at the accounts which are doing it and trying to see if they are somebody who's doing it over and over again. If someone's out there just being a bit of a unfriendly person for a few hours, then nothing's really going to happen. But if someone's doing it over and over again, they're doing it day in, they're doing it day out, they're targeting individuals or targeting everybody, and they're really just there to make your life a misery or other people's lives a misery, then we will be looking at those guys. Once we get the evidence through, we can go and track everything that they've done. We can see what they're doing, what they've spoken about in the past, and the amount of people who are silly enough to go, right, I'm going to go and perm-rag this person, and then off they go and do it, and then we can see in the chat exactly what they said, and it's like, well, we've got no leg to stand on really. Yeah. And then we can go through a whole process of trying to explain to them that they're not doing the right thing, so we can give them temporary mutes and say, don't do it. And if they keep doing it, then we can give them sort of temporary bans after that, and then we can move to permanent bans if they just won't learn and just there to upset people.
Yeah, so it's not going to be anything that's just going to happen immediately. Oh, you ragged somebody for the first time, boom, you're banned. It's going to be, we need multiple sources for an extended period of time. Basically dedicating your game time to ruining others.
Yeah, so if you're getting videos, send them through to Chris.
Yep.
If you haven't got videos and it's just happening to you, because obviously you don't video everything every time you play a game, just email it into Chris and he will collect all that information and send it through to us.
And I believe we have a fun fact of how many people total have been banned so far for ragging?
Permanently banned, about 6.
Six people.
It really is not a lot of people. We're talking about a small group of people that are causing the majority of the problems, and it's stopping. We've had an interesting conversation we saw from one of the people who was first responsible for it, where he was actually explaining to people, look, you don't want to go and start ragging people because you get perm banned like I did on my other 3 accounts. So people are learning and the habits are changing, so we're getting there, and we will continue to do that until it stops, because it ain't nice, and but getting better, so it's all good.
All right, there you go. So next question. Jared King asks, could you please release the system of Iron Men getting drops based on the percentage of damage dealt? Kind of oddly worded.
What? I
but
didn't understand that.
He's asking for the Iron Men to get the kill, I believe, if they do the most damage on a monster.
We polled that. Did we actually poll that as a separate thing, or did we
I
get feedback
think we
beforehand?
took feedback beforehand
Yeah.
and said that we helped kill a monster by somebody else doing like half the damage.
Yeah.
That wasn't really in the spirit of being an Iron Man.
That's
standing
right, yeah,
alone.
because the original design was that you have to do 50% of the damage, and then it was all of the damage. Because that was feedback that existing Iron Men said, we literally went out to them and said, well, these are the rules, what do you guys think? And every single one came back and said, no, make it all the damage, because otherwise I can get my mate to help me kill Grado or what have you. So
Yeah.
that's why it's that way.
Definitely would come with an option to be abused.
Yeah,
if people
Yeah,
want to.
it's frustrating for Iron Men because somebody just walk along and just hit a one on the monster you're killing and that's it. You don't get the drop, but
Yeah.
that's what you signed up for. So it's not meant to be easy. That's the whole challenge of being an Iron Man.
Do we know whether Jared King was meaning something kind of more complicated when he talks about a percentage of damage dealt? Or was he just talking about the most damage dealt, do you think?
It seems like, yeah, if I did 51% of the damage, for example, I would get the drop.
Not happening.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I suppose the other extension to that is if he did 70% of the damage, he would then get 70% of the drop. But I think I can see that causing headaches all over the place, right?
Well, if we had a sort of shard system, then maybe, but we don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think there'd be enough support to get one.
Yeah, absolutely.
These guys are saying 90%. I think it's just almost just better to leave it at 100%.
Yeah. I mean, that was the feedback we certainly got. So
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. This one's from Soggy Toasts, and there have actually been quite a few requests for information on Elemental Workshop 3 and the rewards that came with it.
just all the puzzles that were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the quest itself, to recreate that from scratch, would be a rather large job. Take the Corporeal Beast. It was quite a big job recreating that, and that consists of about one model for the monster, maybe 5 models for its spot anims, and some shields. That quest, with its workshop and all its custom scenery, would be some 100 models. So if you multiply up the time it took to recreate Corp and all the stuff we couldn't do while we're working on this, I think that's kind of out of the question, recreating the entire quest.
Yes.
Now, recreating the rewards is a lot easier because there aren't nearly as many models involved or animations or bits of code to try and restructure to work in the old school engine. So we probably could do the rewards and make them available from Elemental Workshop 2 or something like that, or from something
Maybe
else.
achievement diary rewards, kind
Yeah,
of,
absolutely.
potentially. Okay. This one's from Nonviolence, asks, what's the point of removing the God War's dungeon kill count, yet keeping the 10-minute rule? Acquiring kill count takes longer than 10 minutes. It makes no difference. You still can't get your stuff back.
Well, if you get I don't remember what they're called, the keys, the
Ecumenical key.
Yeah.
That's the one. If you get one of them,
Fart's head.
I probably should. Not. If you get one of them, you can get back in plenty of time with 10 minutes. And the issue with having essentially infinite kill count is that it was tanking the value of all of the God Wars loots completely. They dropped a lot in the short period of time that system was in place. So we still give people plenty of time with the 10 minutes and if they have a key to get back to their items if they lose it in a disconnect, while not having that impact on the price of the God Wars items. Might not be ideal, but it's not exactly an ideal situation with the network issues and whatnot. I feel like it's a reasonable change to make.
Yeah.
And the 10-minute thing is being kept for the sake of the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep it simple. I think one of the problems we had when we were talking about it is if we start putting different things into different areas, different death mechanics, it just gets far too confusing for you guys, for everybody, and it keeps it simple.
I think in terms of thinking of God Wars, you got to remember before this 10-minute, there was, what was it? How long was it before your stuff disappeared? A lot less than 10 minutes.
Don't know.
2.
2? So, really can't complain there. And regardless,
can.
nobody else can pick up your stuff. Well, okay, you can.
They
But
can.
still,
Always
nobody can
can.
pick up your stuff, so, all right.
Yes. For what it's worth, people used to be able to pick up their friends' stuff.
Yeah.
Now, in the 2 minutes, your friends maybe would pick up your stuff and return it to you at your convenience or hold it for when you did get back. The reason we're not making the stuff appear on the floor at the moment is that your friends could pick it up, sure, but so could any looter who's sitting outside the boss room waiting for you to die from a disconnect.
Yep.
And that's something we really can't have at the moment.
I think players would much rather lose their items to the ground than to a random looter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right.
For what it's worth, on subject to disconnects, we happen to know that the sysadmins are currently touring America, upgrading servers at the hosting facilities.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll be seeing some significant improvements in the very, very near future, if not already.
Yeah, I mean, one of the hosting facilities is done. I think we're moving one from somewhere in America to Virginia. I can't
Somewhere in
remember
America,
which one
somewhere
it
else
is.
It sounds like
Yeah.
some super top
Yeah,
secret
so somewhere in
information.
America, somewhere else in America, under cover of darkness, with camouflage gear and stuff. And then I think there's another 3 data centers to go after that. So poor old Barry, who's off touring the world, must be a terrible job, eh? Making server rooms look nice. So don't shame.
Got to admit, he's going to a few places I'd like to go to.
So there's a quick update for you on the server attacks. Let's move to the next question. This one's a confusing one. This is from Dak Bin RS. It asks for a bonus to be added to Rogue Armor rather, from Rogue's Den to help thieving and keep it alive. He's looking for a 2.5% increase.
Do you think he's talking about the XP as an XP multiplier, or about the chance of pickpocketing successfully and that kind of thing? Because we could do either, although XP multipliers have been kind of controversial when they've come up before.
Okay. More than likely the latter then.
We could certainly, give it a kind of set bonus to make you more successful when thieving.
Yeah.
In fact, there's already code in place for something like that was being written in preparation for the summoning update in late 2007.
Okay. But no potential bonuses to the armor itself. I can't imagine any would really help thieving.
Yeah, because thieving's not
No.
a hard skill.
There's not
to,
much you can do for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question's from OSRS Daniel. Is it / will it ever be possible to control the game with WASD instead of the arrow keys?
Chat about this the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, probably in response to a question like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, over the years, people have occasionally tried converting RuneScape to work with WASD. The last major attempt was in early 2013, late 2012, for the RuneScape 3 launch. There was some hope that maybe RuneScape 3 could be WASD controlled, with a camera that automatically follows you, so that it's a lot more of a, first-person shooter type game rather than the point and click we're used to. We've had into quite a few problems, not so much the technical ones. The engine guys updated it so that, of course, the keybinds worked, and it isn't too hard to say, press enter to type so that you don't end up shouting W all the time. That was all okay. And they updated it so that you had a sort of finer grid you could walk around, rather than being stuck on the tile by tile by tile, where you tap W, move an entire tile. They managed to get a really smooth thing where you just shuffle forwards as within a tile, and that way you could move quite realistically.
Yeah.
The problem was scenery. Like, take trees for example. They occupy a square or rectangle at least, and even though the physical model doesn't show that it's taking up that much space, so when you're walking around at the moment, you don't notice exactly where the corner of the tree seems to be. You just kind of automatically route find around it. With WASD, when you're route finding up against the corners of everything, it suddenly matters where the edge is, and it's not where the model seems to be. Now, if they then updated the engine so that blocking was determined off the shape of the scenery, off its polygons rather than off the bounding box, the problem there is that a lot of the game will become, walkthrough, which currently isn't, and we would not be able to test and fix all those places. Like the Regicide Forest in Tiranwen, if you could walk between all those trees, it would make the quest very different. Also, route finding. At the moment, you click, you go where you want to go. You don't have to think about, say, where the door is, because you just navigate straight through it. With WASD, you'd walk up to the wall, and then you'd be kind of walking around it, trying to get to the door, line yourself up to the door, bounce off the wall on each side of it, eventually get through the door, and then you'd have to walk your way all around the counter to get to the shopkeeper, because at the moment you just click on him and you go to him. With this, you'd have to actually navigate to him. We found the game was almost unplayable, to be honest, so we didn't proceed.
Yeah.
I think I've said enough at the moment.
So
All right.
Effectively, TLDR, we'd have to remap everything, redo the route finding, and remake all the models.
Right. So there's a lot more behind the scenes
There
for
you
that
go.
question.
You might want to have a think about how combat would work as well if you're not clicking on people to fight them and you actually have to walk to them.
Yeah.
Even just the whole pressing enter to start chatting thing, I don't think would even pass a poll. So.
No.
Would we also have render order issues as well with people walking right up the edge of the map square? Because we have to use reach forward to prevent things from rendering under the scenery anyway. So if we have people walking right to the edge of the map square, then practically reaching over to the other side of yet another map square, I don't know if the scenery would render on top of certain parts of them.
We got away with it, although that wasn't an engine with HD graphics, so maybe a few things were different. But I think they still had software mode.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a question for Gareth actually. Will we see a Hellhound rework in the near future?
Okay, with Hellhounds, we were talking about a Slayer boss as a Hellhound. I think instead of doing, again, like with the capes, instead of doing like individual NPCs, it might be better if we do decide to proceed with the Hellhound boss for Slayer, to actually couple them together with that, just because, again, it makes it a more punchy release. It's all sort of like relevant and intuitive to a larger bulk of content instead of just like these tiny little spots of the game that are being updated here and there. So yeah, I think if we do the Hellhound boss, yes. If not, then probably we'd be better off working on the large projects that we do.
Makes sense. Go big or go home.
I would like to see the big Hellhound boss.
Yeah, so would I.
Yes, dreams. Where is it?
Do you have a picture of it?
I need Gareth's help.
He needs my help. Oh, is that the excuse now?
All right. The next question is actually, sorry, I haven't been saying the names, have I? Tom Haynes asks for a possible Vetion rework. I believe we'd looked at this boss. And
Yeah, if I was going to do a Vetion, then again, Vetion summons Hellhounds, so you'd probably just bulk it together with that. Otherwise,
Yep.
then again, we've got other areas of content to focus on that we're doing at the moment.
you get a 2 for 1. All right. This one's from Bro You Mad RS. This is an interesting question. This is he's asking for a preset withdraw items from bank to inventory / equipment.
That's a good idea.
So I had no idea what he meant by this question, so I asked him to elaborate. So basically, if I were to go PKing, instead of having to manually click for a Sarah Brew, Super Restore, Prayer Pot, Super Set, 4 Cram ones, 15 Sharks, whatever it is, Vengeance, etc., I can just click one button, kind of like the preset button for withdraw those items into my inventory. And that would save me time clicking,
Wow,
pretty
wow,
much.
dear, that's really, really useful thing that is.
I think the chat has something to say about it.
Can we get a vote for that? Straw poll, what do you guys think? Lazier banking or keep it the way it is?
Lazy asses.
At the moment, it looks half yes, half no in the chat.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
do
No, I
see
do
the
like-
straw poll.
Yeah, no, I do like the idea of, it is, well, I don't say it's frustrating, but it's, something you don't have to do if you're clicking on multiple things
Right.
to get it into your inventory and think,
If you're-
I forgot that, get that as well.
If you're searching through your bank and you can't find something, you just click the, preload my character.
Exactly, yeah. But no, I do like that as sort of make it easier to get the difficult parts of the game. Not difficult, is it?
Yeah.
But I don't know what word am I looking for. The less exciting parts of the game out, I suppose.
Actually, there was a good point just brought up in the chat. It'd be ridiculously easier for skilling to
Yeah.
bring out something like even longbows. Start making those. All you have to do is click a button. You've got all of them, and you're saving yourself a couple clicks there.
Could do it's only worked on
Yeah.
armour and food.
A preset for your armor.
Yeah.
Interesting idea. Okay, so we'll see the vote for that in a minute here. Next question. This one's from Jeff Keysor. Option to be able to equip. Oh, sorry, this is very similar actually. Ask for the option to be able to equip while banking / opening the equipment screen while you're in the bank.
Oh, I like that update.
Okay.
In fact, I did it years ago, about 2010 or thereabouts. Be happy to do it again. It took a bit of doing, mind. The difficult bit is making it possible to have the bank and the equip screen at the same time,
Right.
and flipping between them without having to wait for the server delay.
So maybe
But,
if the
I did it, so I could probably do it again.
okay, there you go. So maybe if the first option, if you guys aren't too fond of that lazier way of banking, this might be a more viable option.
I'd certainly like to get more things clickable while the bank's open. We released, I think, 1 or 2 in today's update. There's 1 or 2 more that Modreach was working on before he went away. So doing it for equipable items would be great in my view.
Cool. I'm definitely for that. All right. Next question here from Shark Owns. Could you make items being dropped in PvP worlds appear instantly to decrease scamming in high-risk fights? So what's happening here is if, say, Matt and I were to high-risk fight each other,
Yeah.
I'm risking 100 mil, I've got an AGS, you're risking 100 mil, you've got an AGS and whatever. I spec you twice with the AGS, I'm done with it, I can drop it, my friend can go pick it up, we continue fighting, you kill me, you didn't get my AGS.
Okay.
So they're
Well,
essentially...
at least we're comfortable with the fact that I killed you, because that's what would happen.
Okay. So items become immediately visible on the ground. Thoughts?
It's the kind of thing I like in PvP areas. I think we may have pulled something of the sort for the wilderness though, and it didn't.
Yes.
But it didn't get through.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what we polled.
At the time, we were talking about tradable items in the wilderness being dropped and just becoming visible to people so that they couldn't be concealed from a PK. It just wasn't supported enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mind you, PvP worlds are different from the wilderness. Messing up the wilderness is one thing. PvP worlds, it's a lot more up to the players what they are.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
I think we've got our
Alright.
poll results in, haven't we?
We do. 65% are
That
in
is
favour of bank
surprising.
resets.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a lot of players. I like that.
Wow, 1,000 of you guys voting. Well done with the contribution.
Yeah,
All right. It's nice to see. So that's a possibility maybe for the future polls?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah?
There's some engine stuff we got for the trading post that will help us let players choose what items are going in the preset without having to necessarily have the item up front.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, bro, you matter us. Good question, man. Good job. All right, next question. This one's from All-Star 1. Will Old School ever get a poll for graphics rework? He's looking for something pre-EOC, a big graphics update.
Yeah, how long do you think it would take if you had to remodel everything?
The entire game.
I feel at the same time we do that, we could put WASD in at the same time.
Yeah, because that would make sense to bundle the two.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably be collecting my pension by the time I'd finished.
Yeah.
If it was everything.
Wow, you're retiring late.
Yeah.
So as far as he's looking for a slight possibility,
Yeah.
it's not looking like there's too much hope for you, buddy. So
Yes, it's probably one of the most impossible things we could do, really,
Okay.
because it is such a huge thing.
I think as well, I'm not sure if like the majority of our player base would want everything to be updated.
Going from
Yeah.
the chat.
Oh, right, fair
No.
enough. They
Yeah.
don't.
I mean, look at the chat now.
I've seen 3 yeesses.
Yeah, that's about it. 3
Okay.
yeses and lots of swear words. Yeah.
I think if people get resizable, they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to squint at it.
Okay. Next question. Dan SOSRS. Why isn't the deposit box at Barbarian Assault just a bank?
It could be.
It could be.
There you go.
That's what he was saying. There was no inconvenience with it being a bank, so why not?
What else is there in that area that you'd benefit from banking? I don't think there is much.
Water Fiends.
Yeah, you've got your barbarian fishing nearby, haven't you?
Yeah, but coming out of the Water Fiend dungeon, it's quite a long way back.
This is true. Certainly a possibility then.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
As long as we don't run into anything where we don't want to bank near it for other reasons, we could happily replace it with a chest.
Okay. Might take more than a 30-second thought, so get back to you on that one. Next question. Again, touching on the high scores, as we do for the last 3 weeks. Destroyer 904, he's asking something a little bit different this time with the new... In case you guys didn't know, you can now talk to Hands in-game, and he will tell you your total time played. Do we have any personal records we'd like to share?
I haven't looked, I'll be honest with you.
I'm 55 days. Pretty good, I must say.
56.
All right. That's my main, too, which is sad. I'd like to see what John's is.
Yes, I think
Right.
that would be the winner, wouldn't it, really?
Anyways,
I
back
like some of the calculations people have done for the amount of XP they've gained per hour
Yeah.
on average. That's great.
that's kind of what this guy's asking, actually. He's asking for a high scores for time played. So the most time played would be number 1, I suppose,
Oh, I expect so.
if that would be possible.
If we can get high scores for us, most all the other things we'd like to do high scores for, we could do high scores for that as well.
Okay.
But we'd first have to get high scores for all the other things.
Yes.
Then, of course, you get into the more screen when he's also asking for a high scores on most clues completed.
Yeah, I mean, if we track information, we can, in theory, put high scores up. Then what's stopping us now is basically a website or a web page to display it on, and a way of automating the process really through the website. So the game will have the information, It will send the information to the website will update it. If we want to change the website page so it has more features on it and more things, it's very difficult for us to get the web team's time to actually do that. So an automated process of us being able to do it through the game and then updating it and that would be great. But it's a challenge, but we shall see.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to get too carried away. It's kind of similar to the pets in that aspect. And everybody just wants a pet for everything now.
But, I mean, people like information. I mean, we've seen, probably not the biggest content update in the world was getting the people this information, but they love it. And people want information about their accounts, what they do in game, and I'm sort of all up for if we can get a way of showing it to them, showing them everything we could possibly show them, even so much as, if we track it, how many arrows you picked off the floor, or how many arrows Ava's accumulators collected for you, that would be a wonderful stat to see, wouldn't it? Just for the fact that we can, and if we can automate it so there's no extra work at our end on delivering this stuff, then we can just keep churning it out there, and you guys can see everything.
For that matter, even if we can't do things on a website like adventurers logs, popular request, we can try to build that kind of thing into the game where possible. It wouldn't be as fully featured as the website necessarily, but it would probably get the information about yourself and maybe compare with a friend if we can get that to work.
Okay. So you could...
Love to do it. It's basically the upshot of that.
Yeah.
Lots of challenges to overcome.
I don't really see too many negatives that come with that, aside from the fact that it's time consuming.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It is how we get the website to work.
Yeah.
And that opens up a whole sort of, Pandora's box of things to deal with, so it's not straightforward, sadly.
Not sure where we stand in terms of RuneScape sounds. We've got a couple questions for that. So this one's from Sesame, and he asks, can you move the skilling sounds, like the water splashing when you're fishing, or chopping trees when you're wood cutting, from area sounds to the sound effects?
I asked Ian for that the other day. He said he thought it would be all right once he understood what I was trying to talk about.
Okay, cool. I think people are just in a group fishing and they don't want to listen to everybody else fishing. Yeah.
That's right. When the engine update came in for area sounds, so that the graphics team could bind sounds onto the animation itself, they come through the area sounds filter, and that means that if you're standing on the tile with everyone else fishing, you hear the sounds of all of them. Right. And you don't really need that. You just want to hear it for yourself.
Also, if they're AFKing and they've got their headset on, they know when they're done because their sound has stopped. All right. Next question. This one's from Eero. He asks for any plans to create an NPC that can transfer gold between RuneScape 3 and Old School?
No. Several issues with that. First of all, there is no system in place which will do that, so we need to create a system which talks between the two games. So that's the first one to overcome. Secondly, we've then got to consider how the economies of each game are going to impact on each other, and we can't see a good outcome of that at all. If all the monies flow from one game to another, then that's going to break the other. It's going to break both games effectively. So we can't really do it from that point of view. And then, of course, there is, what is the exchange rate? How does it change? Do we keep it changing over time? How do we monitor that? So 3 big questions, all answers to which are bad. So no, that's not going to happen, I'm afraid.
There you go. Nice definitive answer. So next question, let's go to this one from Fuzzy Peach 2007, asking for animations on making things like battle staffs and cooking wines.
I don't mind things like that. I think updating animations is something that roughly takes about a day per animation, depending on how extreme it is.
Probably not for these actions. They're meant to be over in about half a second.
Right, yeah. So it's probably going to be about 6 to 9 frames for both of those. So, and I don't think there's many assets that need to be creating that aren't already in place. So it'd literally be like replacing the items in the player's hand and having them move their limbs. So that wouldn't take much at all, actually. I'm sure we could probably poll those in a few polls' time, or in the next one. It's just generally up to the team in general.
To do maybe an animation upgrade and do a whole load at once, or a whole load.
Yeah, sounds good.
Pretty cool.
Could add cows to all of them.
No cows. Not doing cows.
Not
I
anymore.
think we've seen enough cow to last us one animation project.
Unless it's in a bun.
All right. Next question. This one's from Jacobo95RS. And he's asking for the option to decant jewelry, similar to what you can do with potions right now. I don't know if decanting is the right word, but basically to take two dual rings with 4 charges, put them into one dual ring with 8 charges.
Did it before, could do it again. In fact, I think I did it for the Slayer ring anyway. So, yeah, we could do it for more things.
There we go.
In fact, almost any time I write something with charges, it's got that feature built into it, like the Amulet of the Damned.
Okay, there you go.
Whether we have an NPC that does them all, like the Herbalist in Nada, bit of a bigger job there because they're quite a lot of jewellery with quite a lot of different states. But could probably get something to work. Like I said, I think I did it for Barter Bob, or no, Murky Pat or something. At the
These names coming out of nowhere.
there's the
Has
Grand
anybody else
Exchange
heard of Barter
NPCs.
Bob?
Yes, it's the Grand Exchange in the other game.
Oh, that'll be why then.
Yeah.
Grand Exchange.
Yeah, we haven't got him.
Who's Murky Pete?
Some kind of pirate who deals with runes, and I think we put the decanting for magic jewellery on him because he was there.
Fair enough.
Right. Looking at the chat, it's looking like a lot of yeses for that, actually. I don't really see too many ways to abuse that.
I think you probably end up losing out because if you alka one charge ring, you'll still get full out price for
Sure.
it. So
Didn't think of alching. Yeah. So they're almost paying a fee for it, but... Okay. Next question. This one's from PK22, asking about possible plans to add more bounty hunter rewards and / make the wilderness more active. I feel there's already a lot in the wilderness that we've added as of late, being the
I mean, this
bosses
year
and
has been
whatnot.
a huge amount of stuff's gone into
Yeah.
the PvP, which is quite wonderful.
But
and,
I guess he's more in specific asking for what future rewards might come to the bounty hunter. Rewards.
I don't think we've got anything left to poll, have we? I think we've polled everything we
Well,
wanted to do.
Alfie made a model of a dragon scimitar with a skull built onto
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's true, yeah.
And we've not done anything with that.
Yeah.
I don't, however, want to just keep sticking out cosmetic rewards onto Bounty Hunter. We've done a lot of that.
Yep.
And while the players did vote for cosmetic rewards, doing it over and over again until the end of eternity might be not quite what they expected. So,
I guess their ideas more than anything, you know, the conversation certainly isn't closed, and you know, there's a shop there we can add stuff to. So just tell us what you want to, what you want in there, and we'll have a look.
did you not get a suggestion recently for a scroll that would let you switch between spellbooks?
yes, and I stuck it on the list for future
Ooh.
polls.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Take a minute to look at the chat. I saw a question coming in that asked for a cow boss. Why not?
Got one, haven't we?
A dancing cow
We
bar.
do have a cow
Have we?
boss in Nightmare Zone.
Yeah, though it's a fairly uncommon event.
Random in Nightmare Zone if you're in there for any length of time, which I don't think anybody spends much great time in there, do they?
Really?
I'm not actually see what happens.
I think it doesn't turn up in the Rumble mode anyway.
No, that's all right. Yeah. So there's a cow boss in Nightmare Zone, so that's already there.
There you go. So, you know what? Let's also add a pizza man boss. Boss.
Yeah.
The cow boss comes courtesy of Mod Nexus, who loved Easter eggs.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's a very rare site, rather. You
Yeah.
might have to get the statistics from John. I'm very curious, actually. But I've never seen a cow in there.
Yeah, it's not very many people do. It's a level 100 or 300 and something cow, isn't it?
Ooh.
Mate?
I don't remember, I've never seen it.
Super huge high level cow. But, yeah, there we go.
I remember getting a bug report about it.
Just be like, is this supposed to be here?
Like, instead of the monster I chose, I got a cow. Fix it, Jagged.
Yeah.
All right.
Pizza MN, we probably ought to do something, haven't we?
Yeah. He was at the community stream yesterday.
Oh, good. Was he giving out pizzas again?
Yeah, he always gave one to Kelly.
Fantastic lad. They're lovely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking now,
Nice guy.
one of the things that we sort of spoke about after the clan competition, the clan cup, was the rewards that they got, and everybody in the clan cup got a nice little. Well, the clans got a nice little statue type thing, didn't they? That's what I was looking for. And we were thinking about what we could do going forward with that, and that was maybe get some sort of hall of achievement which is in around that area, so we could start moving these statues into this hall of achievement, so that you can go in there and you can see all the sort of the big clan cup winners. And there's no reason why we can't do the same similar thing for personalities within the old school games, such as Pizza MN and Boaty, of course. Zezima would be good to have one for him there, just
Definitely.
because it's Zezima.
It's a noob show. Oh,
yeah.
the Gothic's character in that series.
Yeah,
Proper
absolutely.
memorial to the old knight with his actual name on it.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So, you know, there's no reason why we can't do that at some point in the future. But
Of course, it'd be interesting seeing what people start doing just to try and get themselves high profile. Like people who want to copy Pizza MN,
I'll get Juriel in there.
what they think they're going to do.
Great, Juriel 321.
All right. Next question. We've got one more, then we can start looking to the chat for some questions. So this one comes from Baratho, and he's asking for spell stacking, which used to be a thing. I didn't even realize it wasn't in the game right now. But back in the olden days, you used to be able to rush somebody in the wilderness by throwing a blitz at them. I believe it was like 3 seconds. It would take for that blitz delayed hit to finally hit, and you could stack your claw spec or whatever it was, so it all appears at
That
once.
makes sense, yeah.
The only people that I really see benefiting from that are rushers, I think.
Well, if they were using claws,
Yeah.
You can still stack spells. You can stack an AGS hit with a barrage. It's just a matter of doing it right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's still possible.
It's almost a skill, I guess, isn't it? So, you know, if you've got the ability to do it and the timing to do it, then,
Yeah.
you know, do it.
Blitz used to have right there in the description when you would hover over the spell, it said it said something like a 2-second delay. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. All right.
Don't see it as a bad thing, and if it's still doable, then it's still doable, yeah.
Like I said, I really don't see too many people, now that I think about it, benefiting from it, aside from rushers and maybe hybrids, if they were to stack a barrage combo.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I've got some maybes, but might be a good idea to save those for next week. So let's go through the chat. We've got some time.
Yes, 9 minutes.
yes.
See what you guys have to say.
Vertu has a question about the F keys. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name properly. We did poll a long time ago changing the F key binding from what it is to what it became a few years after 2007. And yeah, it didn't pass. What I'd prefer to do, rather than just polling it again, is let you change which side menus the F keys all point at, so that rather than being restricted to what Old School used to have and whatever RuneScape got later, you can just choose which one's pointing at your worn items, which pointing at your magic spellbook, etc. Of course, some people have been concerned that this would feel a bit too much like the action bar, but since it would only point at the side panels which are already triggered by the F keys, I'm hoping that that's only a minority complaint rather than something people really believe.
Cool.
All right.
I'm going to answer free to play because they're spamming about it. We didn't answer it last week, so, you know, probably having withdrawal symptoms. I'm going to try not to use 2 very specific words as well, so this might be fun.
Pink elephant.
Yes. So, so free to play. The bottom line with a permanent free to play is we're not going to do something that's going to cost us money, and that is, you know, the hard truth of what's going on here. If we open up free to play to everybody, we lose a whole load of members to free to play. Then we're going to end up losing money. So the only way we're going to introduce free to play is in a no, I'm not saying the word. Is in a way where we make money from it, or it doesn't cost us money, and therefore keeps the game safe. Because the big problem is if, as a game, we lose money and we become less profitable, then the support that we get for the game is going to diminish. So, for example, worst case scenario, half the players decide they're going to go free to play when we release free to play. Half our revenue goes down. That means I've got people coming over and saying, right, okay, you've got 2 developers, you've got a QA person, right, you're only going to get 1 developer now to do stuff. We're going to take Chris away to go work on other things. We're going to Rona's going to go and start working on RS3, and Gareth has got to go back into the RS3 team as well. Suddenly there's sort of 3 of us left looking after the game again, and that's no good for you because you're not going to get the updates. It's no good for us because that's not what we want to happen, and that's why free to play is such an important thing to get right. If we get it wrong, then there is a huge cost to what goes on there. And if you think of the amount of people who play Old School and the amount of money that you pay each month to play Old School and how much revenue we get, you know, the decisions we're making here are decisions in the millions of pounds sort of area. So it is a big decision, which is why we use as much information as we can to make sure we get the right decision, because, you know, it's not a case of let's open free to play and suddenly everybody will come and be members, because it doesn't work that way. It might work that way 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. The internet's wildly different now. If you want to play a free to play game, you're not necessarily going to come to Old School Runescape. There's so many other games out there which are free to play which look significantly better, and the younger players value that above, you know, a quality game like Old School, where the values of the community are what's most important there. So it is a big decision, and we're not going to come to you and suddenly say, yes, it's free to play, unless that is the right thing to do. Right. And if it is, we will. If it's not, we won't. So I'm sorry, but it boils down to money at the end of the day, but then we are a business, and that's what we've got to be aware of. So that's the hard and fast truth of it all, and lots of work goes on behind the scenes. I've got 3 people from that games intelligence team looking at the next step right now, so just have to be patient, I'm afraid.
So it's
Sorry.
definitely something we've tried to do, we've looked at, and it
Yeah.
doesn't get much more of a
Yeah.
transparent response than that, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one example that we looked at as well is one of the things that sort of I wanted to investigate was whether we could do two things at once. We could sort of offer you free to play and cover the cost of that with introducing bombs, and even that won't tie up either. So it's not that we haven't been looking hard, but we just haven't found the right thing yet to do. But end of the day, you've already got free to play for brand new accounts, so we're getting in more and more players through that as well. So brand new account gets 2 weeks access to the free to play servers, and that's proved really popular, as well as anybody who's not had membership for 90 days gets access to free to play as well, the free to play servers for 2 weeks. So they're both really quite popular, and they are helping to grow the game. So there is a right way of getting some sort of free to play in, but what the end result is, we don't know yet.
there you go. Any possibilities to extend on that for special bonuses in the future?
Possibly.
Like,
We want to try some different things still going forward, but what they will be will all depend on the data that we get in.
Oh, I was impressed until that point.
Yeah, there we go.
All
So-
right.
That took some restraint.
Didn't it?
We've already mentioned XP drops quite a few
There's
times.
a lovely one that I saw down here, which I want to answer this one as well. Why do Old School never seem to get website dev time? It's a large portion of RuneScape. It absolutely is. The problem with the website is it's not. Again, it boils down to how much effort we put into something to the return that we get, and web pages for Old School just don't get a return on anything. Even if we stick an advert on a page for the website, we don't get any return for it. You know, it won't cover the cost of making that page and updating that page, which is why we don't get the time, because it just really is not worth putting the time in. That time from the web team is better spent on other things. So that's the real reason behind that as well.
Okay. Let's touch on the Wyverns task one. They've been a very popular topic as of late. We have anything to add on that? Them becoming a possible Slayer task?
Wyverns, like
Yeah.
not skeletal ones.
Yeah, no, the Duradel Wyvern tasks, please.
I
that
think he's
question.
saying he'd like us to add Wyverns to Duradel's task
Yeah.
list, right?
That's the one.
Yeah, we certainly could. For that matter, in early 2015, what we'd like to do is poll a big batch of Slayer updates. I talked about this on stage briefly at RuneFest, but for the few thousands of you who couldn't come to RuneFest, yeah, we would talk
Shame,
about...
'cause we'd love to have seen them all there.
That would be fun.
Yeah, 150,000 Old School players.
Yeah, meet
Be
this mug.
amazing.
Yeah, we'd like to rewrite those lists. Not just rewrite them unilaterally, but rewrite them with you guys. Show you what we're planning, let you say what you do and don't want on each given list, then put it to a poll, and hopefully end up with a situation where the high-level Slayer masters are giving suitable high-level tasks, and the low-level ones are giving suitable low-level tasks. And that way you get your Wyverns and other popular things on Duradel, but you don't end up with Rock Slugs all the time, which I think he does assign still. Also some slight controversy over who's got Zygomites, I think. So yeah, I'd like to address quite a lot of those things all at once, rather than just doing another tweak here and there with separate toggles. I think it would be worth doing a rewrite. Also worth noting the combat level requirements to get certain creatures. Dark Beasts, I think you can't get a Dark Beast task without a combat level of 110. Now, you can kill a Dark Beast without 110 combat, so I'd like to revisit whether they check for that kind of thing, maybe give you the option to toggle it off, so that if you're confident that you can take whatever the game throws at you, you can have that Slayer task, and good luck with it.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Is it possible to let loot appear to those on your friends list on death?
No.
Nope. Quick
No,
and easy.
for the moment, the game has the concept of one owner, and it's just remembering, well, who owns the item, who dropped the item. It's not going to be able to remember who was on their friends list at the time when it was dropped, or who's on their friends list now. I think that's a little bit more than the engine's going to be able to support in the foreseeable.
Okay. Saw one in there about drop X or drop all options.
I think that's very overpowered.
Yeah,
I don't know
with
how you guys feel.
power mining,
Yeah.
power wood cutting, power
Absolutely.
everything.
There was an update once where you could drop items without interrupting your actions, so you'd be, fishing, and you can drop
Ooh.
the fish but carry on
I
fishing.
remember that though, yeah.
That was not intentional, and it was so popular it had to be hotfixed out of the game immediately.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible, I guess, if we have a drop all button, but it takes longer to drop everything from your inventory than it does to do it manually by right-clicking. So it just makes it easier to do, then you don't do as much clicking.
Starting to realize we have some very lazy players.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
But I would vote for that,
Yeah.
to be honest. So.
But I mean, it doesn't give you any benefit in terms of XP, but you know, you just don't not clicking the right click, left click, right click. Oh, missed it, right click again.
Well, it wasn't so bad with the pestle and mortar update, where if you use one thing, it'll just keep looking for matching items and grinding them automatically,
Yeah.
but slower than you could have done by clicking manually.
Yeah.
So we stuck a little bin in the corner of your inventory screen and let you drag items to it, and it just kept dropping all matching items.
Yeah.
That would be one way of going about it.
Yeah, that seems a possible thing.
You have to put
So-
up with the thing being physically there on your screen though all the time.
We have a bit of an epic closer if we're allowed to show Gareth's super awesome
Yes, I
snake
think
boss
so.
Oh, yes,
concept.
yes, you can.
You guys want to get a sneak peek at the snake boss so far?
Sure, that's more or less done. If you want to give feedback, you can obviously go to my Twitter or any of these guys' Twitter, and they can forward it to me or the main Oldscape Twitter, which I'm sure we'll give at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going for.
I'm just waiting for the chat to
Looks
explode.
awesome.
So I want to sit this way.
We're going to get some hype for
and we can
this.
go.
I like the pink fur trim.
Yeah. I kind of just thought hair like one of those disgusting caterpillars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do we have another picture, or was that the only one?
There was the one from last week if you wanted to compare, but
Yeah.
it's completely up to you.
A couple weeks ago, Gareth was in the background concept drawing that snake.
Sure, so that's the original one that took an hour, so it's not been polished off. There's a few mistakes that I kind of cringe at looking at it now, but yeah.
But yeah, no, my kids were actually in the studio when he was drawing this, and when we got home, my daughter went and drew a snake just like that. Well, not as good, obviously, because she's only 11, but she drew a snake just like that and put a big sign on it saying "Knock if you dare" and hung it outside the door on Halloween. So that was wonderful.
Did anyone knock?
Yes, I did. So I did scare them. There we go. Loads of people knocked this Halloween. It was a really warm Halloween, and everybody came out to get free sweets. We had to go and raid the car sweets. Sweets we keep in the car to keep. Anyway, that's a rubbish story. Sorry, Chris. So.
That's it. I think we're about done here.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add?
Authenticator. Chris
right.
made a video beginning of the week. I have to do the authenticator. It literally takes less than 60 seconds to put the authenticator on your account. We've got about 25% of the community on the authenticator. We'd love to get that higher because A, it secures your account, B, it helps us not have to give your account back because you've already got it. So please do use the authenticator. Head to the front page, there's a news story, there's a link to the video. While you're watching the video, by the time you've watched the video, you can have the authenticator on your account to do it. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poll next week?
Yep.
Or was it the week after? It's the week after, isn't it?
Week after, I
Yeah,
believe.
okay. So devlog about a poll next week. Yeah, that's about it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
We're all working towards trading post you're working on at the moment, which is going
Trading
really nicely.
post? Yep.
Yeah, it's going fantastically well.
Tomorrow I should have another episode of the Old School Runescape Weekly. So if you haven't been keeping up with the forums or watching these streams or paying attention to what we've been doing to the game or what's coming in the near future, that video will help you out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. See you later, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.